Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. It's Mark here from Digital Groove Online, and in this video I'm going to show you where I get my samples from, what application I use for that, and also the ways that we can download physical copies and where we would get those from on the internet. So I'm going to start with the physical copies on the internet. Now, you can browse anywhere on the internet for samples based on the genre that you like. I've brought up two websites just to go through, where I've purchased sample banks or sample CDs from in the past. Sample CDs are a more traditional way of doing things where you will go to a site, you will download it off a company that provide samples, and you will download that CD or file to your computer. And when you download that to your computer, you will store it on your hard drive somewhere, and then we will map it on the side here on the left hand side so that those samples are easily accessible. I'm just going to show you two companies that provide these types of samples. One would be from more the house and techno genres, and another one that would be more towards like trance, uplifting, sort of high energy type samples. So I'll just bring up the web page here and I'll show you. So the first one I want to show you is a company called Production Music Live. They make sample banks for deep house, melodic house, organic house, techno, and things like that there. We can go on to their site, and as you can see, they have a list of sample banks that are available for you to listen to. I think this little button here should allow us to preview what's on that site. So let's see, Deep Premium Volume 5 Club and Festival. I'm just going to hit play on that and hopefully we can hear that. And it sort of navigates through different sounds that are in this downloadable pack. And you can flick through all different ones here. There's a vocal one as well.
Run away with me just one more night. Tell me, can you see the open sky? Let's pretend.
Another vocal pack here. Ones that are more geared towards Afro house. Kick sample banks on their own, acoustic sounding sample banks as well. So you can flick through all of those and you can purchase those off their site. Their prices are underneath it here. And whenever you create an account and purchase that, it should be available within the download section. Once you download it to your machine, it's as simple as unpacking that and storing it somewhere on your hard drive. And then when we go into Ableton, we can go to the left hand side here and we can scroll down to the bottom and hit add folder. Now, whenever you hit add folder, you navigate to where the sample pack or bank is stored within your machine, and then you select the folder and it will then populate on the left hand side. Now, this sample folder here is some sample banks or packs that I've downloaded online already, and these are readily available on my hard drive. Let me just make sure my settings are right for playing, and it is, just so you should be able to hear these samples. So those samples are already on my hard drive, and I can navigate through here to pick up those samples and bring them into my project. The pros, I suppose, of having those samples already on your hard drive is that you don't require an internet connection to browse those samples or to download samples, which is one of the next features that I'm going to come to. There's pros and cons to everything. It's just what really works for you. I have a mix of both. And then whenever they're on your hard drive, it's just as simple as dragging those samples out either into a drum machine, a sampler, or you can drag them out completely and just drop them in as audio files within your project. One that's more trancey, more uplifting is a company called Freshly Squeezed Samples. There are other ones out there, so browse on the internet for the specific type of genre or producer that you're into, and there's lots and lots of availability online where you can then download that to your machine and purchase those banks. This one's Dave Parkinson. There's another focal pack, and like the first one, we can sample that there by hitting the play button. That's more of a progressive trance style one. There's a vocal pack.
What you gonna do? You gonna come closer?
There's one by Sonny Lax, kick drums. There's one by Driftamoon. So again, browse the internet, search for something that fits the style or genre of music that you're producing, and you can listen to those. Some companies even allow you to give them their email address, and they'll give you mini versions of those packs too. If you look online, they give you sometimes templates for Ableton, little effects racks, or smaller versions of those sample banks or sample packs. So yeah, try that out. So those are two sites that I would recommend. There are hundreds of others. Just browse for them online and see which ones suit you. So the next one that I would like to talk about is, there's two companies out there that I like to use. One is called Splice and the other one is called Loopcloud. They both do a similar thing. Let me just bring up Splice for you here. We're not going to navigate both of them, we'll just bring up the Splice one for now, but they both do a similar job. And what that allows me to do, I suppose what I would call it, is like the Netflix for producers. And inside this window here, we can navigate to particular sounds, styles of music, producers that we like, and it shows you a library of sounds that are available to you. Now you get, for a subscription fee, I think £9 or £10 a month, you would need to check that out and see what the going rate is now. They give you 100 credits per month or 200 credits per month, depending on what type of subscription model that you purchase. And anytime that you purchase a sample, it takes 1 credit off you, as far as I'm aware. Let me just browse for something over here. So let's go to the search bar, we'll type in kick drum. So let's put in a kick there and hit enter. And it will allow me to browse for loops of kick drums or one shots. So one shots is just one kick drum. So let's have a look at that and hit close. Hopefully we can hear those samples whenever I play them. And whenever we purchase them over to the side here, just stop that. Whenever we purchase them over to the side here, we just hit the plus icon, and that will put that locally on your machine. You now own that sample, and it takes 1 credit off you here at the top. You can do that with any sound. So that's just one shots of kick drums. We can literally take out kick, and we can focus on what type of genre we're making. So let's say it was house music, and we wanted to go drums again. And instead of one shots this time, I might look for a loop. So we've asked it to look for a specific genre, which is house and drums and loops. And now we should have, and what you can do as well here is, rather than the most popular, we can search for randomization, and it'll randomly shuffle them about, I suppose. So when I play, so as you can see here, there's 11,000 results that come back under this particular search. There are lots of different genres, there are lots of different instruments, and really the world is your oyster when it comes to using Splice. The downside to that is, whenever you don't have an internet connection, you cannot browse those files and download them. But the good news is if you have sounds already purchased, in this little section here where it says sounds, all those sounds that you've purchased built up in here. And as you can see, there's a tick against them, which means they're synced locally to my machine. Sometimes you'll come across a cloud icon on there, and that means that maybe you have a laptop or a desktop somewhere else, you've signed in there and you've synced it to that machine, but you don't have to purchase it again. It allows you to click that cloud icon to the right hand side, and then we can download that sample to this machine because we've already purchased it. So it is great. It's my preferred choice. The variety in there is second to none. You know, going across those specific genres where maybe purchasing a sample bank off a website only allows you to play with the samples that you've purchased. This allows you to preview and make a decision on whether you want to purchase that sample, which is great, and you get 100 credits per month. And if you don't use all those 100 credits, it then allows you to build that up. It accumulates those. So if we only use like 90 credits in 1 month and we have 10 credits left, well, when they add the 100 next month, there's 110 credits inside your application there for you to use. So that's where I get my samples from. There is more organic ways of getting samples. You would get a lot granular whenever you go on your music production journey. You might get a little recorder and go out and record sounds and fields and ambient noises, and you know, pick up tools and hit metal or kick bins and it sounds like a kick drum, and we can get a little bit experimental further down the line. But for now, the two forms that I would stick to, I suppose, at your stage of your journey, is downloading physical samples to your hard drive, or if you just want to go straight into a subscription based model where you have the word at your fingertips here with regards to samples that are already online, you can purchase those and have them on your hard drive. Well, then Splice or Loop Cloud is probably the way to go. There are other ones out there, I'm sure, but those are my preferred and go-to ones. In the next video, we're going to jump in, we're going to start using samples, and we're going to start getting some sound out of Ableton Live. But this tutorial is basically aimed at where I get my samples from and the difference between having physical copies downloaded from a website or a particular supplier, or using the subscription-based model with Splice or Loop Cloud. As we move into the next session, we're going to start using those sounds and bringing them into Ableton and getting some sound out of the system. See you in the next video.